Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Jewelry Yoda.
Jan had put that in and I didn't change it. So,
well, for those of you here, which is nobody, we're alone, guys.
Think we're alone now.
Oh, somebody came in. Announce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lissa of Baubles, Blings, and Needful Things.
Yeah,
coming at you from rainy Canton, Ohio.
And I'm try 4. I got 4 to 8 inches of snow dropping right now.
Well, no, there's 4 counties that are, if Angie talked to her father or whatever, that it's turning to freezing rain right now. And it's going to be like an inch of freezing rain and then up to 8 inches of snow on top of it. And it's like no stores have any bread, milk, any of that, because they're calling for power outages and probably 3 days nobody's going to work. So, well, Bobby, did you have have it set to announce or?
I have, I posted on Instagram. I've been on lives talking about it. Johnny, other
I saw you on Johnny. Yeah. You can't pronounce my name. What's so hard about it?
Well, it's because it's like
Johnny can't
remember needless baubles, blings, and things, and I'm like, man, could you add a name like Sam I Am or something?
Angie couldn't pronounce it right for nothing.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. It's Baubles, Blings, Needful Things. It wasn't a tongue twister. I'm watching. He said it like 4 times, and I'm going, really, Bobby?
Hey, small town picker. Hey, Tommy, say my name. Say my name.
Hi, Tommy. Tommy. It's Mr. Bernard.
Mr. Bernard.
And say my name. Say my name. Say my name. Say. All right, Tommy. I know you didn't want to see that.
Look at how dirty my office is. Oh well, it's just how it is.
Yours. I'm still working on the stuff I bought 2 days ago.
I have HBA palette crap everywhere.
Oh.
I'm surrounded by jewelry.
Well, I'd rather be surrounded by jewelry than cold medicine.
Well, we're going to learn about jewelry tonight. Hey, there's Travis. If y'all haven't seen Travis's last video, where he took 3 days to clean out his storage units to move it to another storage unit, you need to go check that out. I never will feel bad about a death pile again. Never.
Travis, did you save a bunch of money to do that?
Hello, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hello, Sandy, Miss Alabama. And there's Tanya. But we're going to learn tonight because we're going to learn about stuff I want to know about. Jewelry. Yeah, there you go.
Well, we're going to try.
Well, we'll let a few people get in here. But so have you been going and thrifting, Lissa?
Yeah. Not much. Not much.
Wow, Lissa's actually, Angie, she's actually leaving the house.
Good.
Well, tomorrow I get my second shot. So I've only been leaving for, the doctor's appointments, but I got to get my fix, man. So I hit up two of the places on the way home. So, and
I got to go to the VA tomorrow if I can get out of my house.
You're getting a lot of snow, aren't you?
We're getting about 4 to 8 inches, and it doesn't bother me, but it's going to be really, really cold, and it's all moving up towards Lissa and Cleveland and all that area. But we're not going to get the ice. Dallas is going to get hammered with ice like you. We're just getting snow, but there is a little bit of ice, and it's all Angie's fault. That's because she made you take it from Goodwill. Hey, Brian. What's up?
It's Karen.
And they're both here. And of course, Red Dirt Picker, y'all check out his channel. He's in Oklahoma. And Karen is also here living in the snow belt. And there you go, Texas. And even down to my home of Austin, they're getting ice and stuff, I guess, tomorrow. So they can have it. I want the snow. I don't want the ice.
I don't even know what our weather's supposed to be like.
But we're supposed to be like 5 and below 0 for the next 72 hours. And then next week, it'll be back in the 40s and 50s again. So it hasn't been a horrible winter. But again, the people around here aren't used to it enough to be smart.
It's currently 62 degrees here.
How much?
62.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it ain't that here. It was a couple of days ago. It was 71.
It was -4 here.
Tomorrow it's going to be 71.
It was 71 here Sunday. I was like, this is fantastic.
Well, Angie can't play with our party then. unless you're miserable and under snow and ice.
That's right. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi,
Good to see
Melissa.
Yeah, where Tanya lives in Tulsa, they're supposed to get between 10 and 15 inches.
you.
So you can have it, Tanya.
Craziness.
Um,
When you live in Florida, you forget about everyone having snow. I'll talk to my dad and he'll be like, yeah, we had 17 inches of snow. And I'm like, well, it's 60 here today. I had a little jacket on because I was freezing.
what's funny is I went to boot camp in Orlando because I went in the winter and I thought, well, it's not going to be cold there. And one morning at 5 a.m., we're standing in line for chow and it's 14 degrees and we didn't have coats. And I was like, I didn't know it got that cold down here, but it was just a blue northerner, as we call them around here. And we stood out there for about 45 minutes freezing, but we were in boot camp. Who were we going to complain to, right?
Wah. Little, feel so sorry. Pity.
So we were talking prior to coming on here, and one of the big things I think we talked about was how you got into reselling and jewelry specifically.
Okay.
Well, large.
No, don't make me big. I'm big enough, trust me.
So cute.
Well, I don't know. A number of the people in our room here probably have seen the Beardos when I was on, and I did kind of touch on that. But what? Make a big one. All right. When I was a child, I didn't have anything, and it was throw you out and go play. Well, I lived at the library. I was quite the reader, and I always gravitated towards sparkly and pretty and all that. And my mother didn't wear jewelry. That was always, the rich women had jewelry on. And so I just started reading, looking at the pretty picture books and then reading about jewelry and that. And I eventually read through the entire collectibles section and that. But jewelry was just, I don't know. I just gravitated towards it. And, just oogling through the pictures. And it's like, I would ride my bike to garage sales in the neighborhood and always pick up trinkets and that. And I just started being like, okay, I know what that is, and yeah, I went back when you could buy nice stuff, good Victorian stuff for a dime or a quarter. And yeah, I actually even got in trouble in 4th grade for wearing some dangled disco ball earrings from the 50s that I'd picked up. I was upset about that because, hey, I earned that money picking up pine cones. So, and then, there was a consignment store in town and I would go in there and peruse. And I think they were just amused by me and surprised that I actually knew what the stuff was and would talk to them about it. So then I started taking stuff to the consignment store and it's like, I'd pick it up for, a dime or a quarter at a garage sale. And then I was making, like $5 or something. And it's like, sweet, there's something to this. And then, and then there were the collectible, the magazines, remember how we all would stand and read the magazines.
Right.
And so it just kind of blossomed over that. Now I would go, when I got to be a teenager, I was going to the Hartville flea market and, setting up. And I mean, that just exploded everything because Hartville's actually a huge flea market. It always has been. It's run by Amish. Those are the biggest. And, I just started seeing more stuff. And when I would see stuff, I wanted to learn more about it. And, for a number of years, I mean, I was on the regular track of, you go to school, you get a real job. But so it started out, it was really like a hobby, but I just continued to learn. I mean, I had subscriptions to the collectible magazines. And while I grew to know about all of it, and I lived across the street from an auction house, and so go there and hang out, I never stayed at home. It was always, you're out of the house, go somewhere. If there's daylight, go. And so I just used it as I absorbed like a sponge everywhere. And I was the first kid that the auctioneers would accept bids from because back then it was cash. So yeah. And I mean, it kind of went like that. And I tried the jobs and everything, but I always felt better about like going to the flea market. I'm spending, 4 or 5 hours there and making more than I would at my pizza shop job in 2 weeks. So it was like, this is better. But, at that time period, people were looked down upon as, if you were a reseller, and that it's like, oh, you can't do anything, productive. So, I mean, this whole new world online I mean, it started in, I was at the Hartville Flea Market in the summer of 97. I was hearing around about this eBay thing, and I was like, okay. And then people were talking, yeah, I hear this is $25, but I can get 75 on this eBay. I'm like, and I was dating a computer nerd. And so, you know, I had him, we looked into it. And I mean, back then you had to scroll through things. There was no search. And I mean, I would stay up all night going through hundreds of pages, looking at the jewelry and everything and the prices. And so he had started an account, and now he'd sell pirated music. But so I was using his account. Well, by 98, he got so sick of me. Basically, I took over his account that I came home one day and he said, "You've got your own account. Your name's Kitty Mom." I'm like, what? I had no choice in this. And he goes, it just sounded good. So that's how I became that. And I had actually thought, well, I'd rather have something that sounds more about my jewelry. And I really wanted to change it to, I have a jewelry problem, because he was always kicking my boxes of jewelry in the living room and be like, my God, you've got such a problem with this jewelry. It's everywhere. And there is actually somebody that already had that name. So darn it. But it's just stuck. And ta-da. And that's where that started. And then what really changed it to, I give up on punching a time card. I had gotten West Nile and was down. Oh yeah. It took a long road to come back to even be able to put makeup on. I didn't think I had a palsy. I shook. Wow. I was bedridden for a couple months, and it caused permanent neurological damage, which really didn't impact me so much, but it took me several years to really come back. And it's like, I didn't want to be around people and interact. I was always really afraid. And this was something that I could do on my own term, you know, from your house, all alone in your PJs,
right? You know,
didn't have to be there at a certain time. Didn't have to worry about the car breaking down, you know. And so that's where it just kind of went. Yeah, I'm done with that. So, ta-da.
So what is your favorite? I mean, I go to yard sales and I'll see jewelry and I'm like, I don't have time to pick through and look for 24 karat, 18 karat, 10 karat. Is there costume jewelry out there that's worth a lot of money by name brand?
Yes. I mean, resounding yes. You know, in 2 hours, there's no way that I can really drive home everything. I mean, took years, but I was trying to think, well, where did I start out and to look and learn, and what you're going to find more in the wild now. And that was the thing, is you always figured, oh, it's got to be real. Well, over the past 20 years, really, this millennia, costume has become bigger and bigger and bigger because, you know, financially driven, and the younger people, they don't see paying all the money for gold or silver. They're like, I want the look, I want the bling. And so the market has swayed to that. And yeah, there's always been good designers, but even more so now, your classic ones, you know, your Trifari, your Coro, these are ones you will find out and about, both new and old. The older the better generally, but there's exceptions to every rule. Oh, sorry.
I got JT a ring the other day, but he showed it the other day in my video, but I didn't tell him that it was really a napkin holder.
I thought that was for a very sizable lady.
It was something quick and it fit on his hand because everything else falls off of him, hats and everything else. But we know you know a lot about glass. We know you know a lot about jewelry. What else are you an expert at?
Well, expert, that's throwing things around.
Right. That's like a lot of pressure on
that you have a lot of knowledge of.
I have a great deal of knowledge about a lot of stuff. I'm genetically predispositioned to know a multitude of superfluous information. Therefore, I am the rogue. Well, that was you can bet that's been said a few times.
Yeah, like the conceited thing. I'm not conceited because conceited is a fault and I have no faults. Therefore, I am perfect.
There you go.
Well then, Bobby.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just things that, you know, you've learned over time, just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really focus on jewelry as I'm sitting here looking at a mountain of it behind this computer. And I mean, mountain of it. There's flats, what I call beer flats. And that's
does it come into like any kind of competition with Travis?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Not his warehouses, but
No.
at one point I did have storage units. But anyways, yeah, I was just going to show, I was thinking, well, what do you guys normally see? You're saying you go to a garage sale and there's the table just looks like it threw up jewelry. Or you find, jewelry boxes just stuffed full and it just all looks the same. You can't see the trees for the forest. And a lot of times what I'm going to say, because I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, but if you can, if the price is good, like you could see a big box of it or the sandwich baggies, try to get it all and just be able to, take it home. Because also you don't know what's at the next sale. You don't want to miss.
Right.
The
Sure.
people, you do not have the time to sit there and look through stuff.
Right.
But you need to develop an eye of what might be better. And if you see rhinestones, always go for rhinestones.
Okay.
But of an overall rule, to what, pick it up. You're always going to look at certain places on pieces. You're going to look at the clasp. You're going to look at the backs. I mean, I've got so many examples here. It's not even funny.
Well, I was telling Angie before the show that I found a bunch of stuff and I started going through it, and there was some kind of a skiing, like Catholic medallion, like protector of skiing.
Okay.
And it went to somebody in France, and it was a French type thing. And in this lot, I didn't pay much for it, but as I started going through it, there were little like emperor medallions and things, and they all sell for like $30, $35. I thought, you know what? I would have never known that was worth anything if I hadn't grabbed it to go through it.
Well, and yeah, that's the thing.
Tommy's
Yes.
related to Glenn Campbell, apparently.
Well, he's a rhinestone cowboy. Yeah.
1975.
The main thing is, get some pieces that are good and study the way they're made, the construction, the kind of the quality, and look over known pieces and look at where the marks are, because your marks are going to be all over the place. Just say you just saw this, and this is actually a newer piece,
Right.
but it's from a good company. The marks are so tiny. Get a loop, guys. They're under $10. Most of them are the little round ones, and for the majority of our eyes, I mean, you need at least a 10x loop. But if you could get a 20 or 30, even better. And they have them that you can put them on your keychains. They have keychain loops.
I have a big one and it has like a little light on it.
Yeah. Some of the little light ones really help, especially when you're at estate sales or something and it's dim or in a garage, not well lit.
Oh, yeah.
But construction. Learn your construction. Your clasps, you're going to have different kinds. Yeah, I know. I did not get nails done, but you're going to have different kinds. This is a fold over latch.
Right.
Always look on the back of your latches, or if you have a round ring one, that's where you've got real tiny, because like you'll have 925 or 14K or whatever, or even numbers. Anything that's marked warrants looking into. And some of these better pieces, look at the clasp, look at the bottom, whether it's a pendant or whatever. Like this is marked right there. You can see it in the middle, a little round thing.
Yeah.
And I overheard a friend in the rooms doing a jewelry sale, and they said, it looks like a duck. And I'm like, swan. It's a swan. It's Swarovski. And
okay.
They're very tiny. But you look on your pieces, always look on the back, look on the clasp. Even if it's a brooch, you look on the clasp. And another thing, like bracelets, don't always go, oh, well, there's nothing on the clasp. Usually if it's good, the name will be there. But some of your older pieces, it'll be on the back, in the middle. It'll be on the edges. But, your necklaces, they'll be marked on the pendants. They'll be marked on the clasps.
How about Mexican silver?
There's various kinds. There's stuff I'm gonna say. A lot of people confuse Mexican silver with something called alpaca. You'll see things marked alpaca. That didn't used to be worth anything, but now it is becoming collectible. You can sell it. Alpaca is actually a nickel tin that's made to look like silver.
Oh,
and you frequently find those as tourist pieces with abalone in them.
Right.
But Mexican is hot. And Mexican, like I said, anything with marks. You find marks, buy it if it's cheap, look it up. The Mexican will have like TM and a dash and numbers if it's after 1978. That's the modern stuff. Before that, they had things called eagle marks, and it looks like just a bell. I won't explain why it's called an eagle.
Have you ever seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where they take him back to Mars and they have to transplant his fantasies in his brain? Can we not like get your brain and like transplant it to us so we have this knowledge without research?
It's a dark place. There'd be too many things that would go along with it.
Tanya has a question. Hattie Carrera, designer, is that valuable?
Hattie Carrera. There's Hattie Carnegie. I think, is that what she's asking?
I don't know.
The Carnegie jewelry, yes. Like I said, anything that's marked, to look into it. But there are caveats. You know, your modern pieces will have little hang tags. And that's another thing when looking for the marks. Yeah, I've still got stuff from,
Wow.
my places. You'll have these little hang tags. Did I grab one? Yeah. And a lot of the modern jewelry, put it there, Liz.
Yeah.
They'll have a little hang tag here, and it'll either have a name on it or something. If there's a hang tag, generally it is something good. They'll either put their trademark or like this. This is it's called Silpata, and this is sterling. Oop, get it up there, Liz. And it's a little arrowhead chevron. Good glory. I hope you guys can see it, but yeah, I mean, you can look it up online and see better pictures. But when you see little hang tags, look it up. There's ones now though that's like, oh, Charmin Charlie's had a C and stuff. You know, there's some you'll learn that are kind of crap because a lot of the modern is starting to emulate quality, and the home shopping channels have really, you know, gone up. That it's costume and they charge a lot and they're making it look like the quality stuff, but
it's not.
No.
Brian asked if Pandora charms and bracelets, how do you know if they're real or fake?
Well, the fakes are getting better. I will say that, but you look for the mark, the ALE, the ALE in there, and you'll learn that the lettering on the fakes, it's not crisp. It's kind of sloppy if they put it on there. You want a good deep embossing, very, very block, nice letters. The fakes do it very lightly. The letters are sloppy, like they don't know English. Yeah. And yeah, so when you, and the construction, there'll be a lot of the fakes are silver plate and they weigh differently than the sterling in hand. And the finish looks differently. What are you smirking about?
What Harry said. He's going to have to go to the big screen now since there's three of us. I hope he's not calling us big. Harry.
Yeah. Another costume here that's really good. I went and pulled my inventory drawers for some things just to make it easy. This is a favorite that has a great following. Not extremely expensive, but pretty, you find it frequently. And it's called Brighton. And Brighton will be marked. Most of the pieces here will have the B on it like that in a heart.
Oh,
somewhere
okay.
on it. Now it's silver plate, so it does look like sterling. But you start to learn the look of these. There you go. Haha. You'll start to learn the look. They have a certain design to them. And they have the little dangly hearts on most of the pieces, the necklaces and that. Earlier pieces, the back will just have a heart pattern all over it. And so a lot of people don't realize that's Brighton and they pass it over because, well, it doesn't have a name on it. It doesn't have a letter. I gave Yakov a vintage Brighton purse, so I didn't have to deal with it. The jewelry is okay. The purses they don't generally go for, they cost a lot, but they don't go for much.
So to get this knowledge other than reading books like you did, what's the best way and what's one of the best sources we could go to learn about jewelry and what to look for? That it don't have to be super valuable, but something that's worth picking up and reselling.
YouTube.
Okay. But I mean, are there other YouTubers out there that talk about it a lot?
Well,
that I'm not familiar with, other than
half a dozen thousand.
Okay.
Uh,
Hey,
Nice.
Justin.
Ciro is bringing
Hi,
up
Ciro.
about Listener and Carol Lee. Of the two, your Listener is going to be far better. Generally, a lot of rhinestone. Where did I put that? Here we go. Listener was one of the premier ones. Yeah. It's all rhinestones.
Oh my goodness. How about turquoise? Is that anything? I mean, I have some mother of pearl, silver, turquoise type stuff, but turquoise goes in and out of popularity.
Turquoise, you learn. It's important to learn the look of tarnished silver, and that really helps when you're out and about and running. Yes, Tommy, eBay sold. I was gonna say, just sit and peruse and sort by most expensive.
Sometimes I see Tommy's feet on his show, and he has those silver tip boots that are pointy, and I'm like, are those tarnished or not? I can't tell in the camera.
Okay, well, here's rhinestones, and yep, I found the mate at the thrift store, $3.
Right.
This is 1950s. Again, rhinestone. And
how do you know it's 1950s? Just the
that's
look?
a whole nother thing of learning styles, because think about clothing. You can recognize bell bottoms. You're going, oh, that's 70s. You know, the tea dress of, I Love Lucy. Oh, that's 50s.
Right.
Like, clothes, with repetition, you learn the styles of the jewelry from the time period.
Makes sense.
Right here. What time period would this be, guys? Take a good guess.
70s.
Yes, because owls were popular and they're come back. And that's another area where I'm going to go is anything cute. Cute doesn't have to be marked.
I just sold an owl wine stopper in a death pile yesterday for $12.99, and I'm like, nobody's going to buy it, but I'm going to list it. And they said, I wanted this. I got a hoot out of it. So I was like, whatever, send me the money.
Okay, now see this. What I said about construction. Rhinestone, first, you go, okay, I'm going to look at it. Prong set. This is invaluable to learn. If something is prong set, look at it. Okay, because the prongs were, that's more work, therefore better cost. And like this, you're looking, oh, I don't really see a mark. Oh, and ta-da, right there on the back of the clasp. And
what does it say?
Weiss, and that's a good name.
Okay.
And Weiss rhinestones have always been extremely collectible. They will, as far as I
So what's that worth?
Well, you can sell them individually. Sets always go for better. You just have to look at the comps. Depending on the color, the style, it can be a $50 piece. It can be a $300 piece. You just, pay less than that and you're good.
Right.
When I think of brooches and stuff, I think of airplane. It could be a brooch or a hat or a... Yeah, never mind.
Right. And some of this stuff is frequently found and overlooked. Now, look, you learn the construction, the filigree. This looks cheap. It
does. Cheap. That's what I was about to say.
It's faux pearls. And, pearls, everybody, do the teeth thing. If it's gritty, it's real. But just because it's not real and things are glued, they were frequently, the chain is like an aluminum. They're West Germany and Austria, and they were real big in the Victorian revival of the 60s, whole nother thing, but they're becoming more and more collectible, and they're $40, $50 and up depending. So, and that's a surprise. I've seen a few people put them in the YouTube sales, and
Hello, Tracy. Tracy's asking if you have any flying colors jewelry to show.
If I do, it's in my locked armoire upstairs. I'm sorry.
Oh, so it must be valuable.
Well, I'm trying to stay on focus, but yes, no, we can go into, I just want to show you like constructions and simple things you're more than likely to find. And Tracy knows a great deal of jewelry too. She's also impassioned by the addiction too. Thank God there's no 12 step. There's that hair. It was bothering me. But here's an example of, like I was saying, the rhinestones and learning construction. You've got prongs. looks nice,
Right.
but there's no mark on the back. Now that goes to what the one fellow had said about, like Juliana and Listener and that. Juliana, they did for other companies and they did their own. And you learn that style. But so some of these that aren't marked, people look them over, go, well, there's no mark. The construction supersedes a mark. The rhinestones, they're collectible. Lots of the unmarked is becoming more and more coveted. Like another unmarked prongs, great color, and color is always good. Clear rhinestones are pretty much a dime a dozen. Yeah, here we go. Plato's Closet, guys.
Right.
$6. Now, this is something else to look for, and again, there is a caveat, but as a general rule, we have a safety chain. When you see a safety chain on a bracelet, look at it. Look for a mark. And there is a mark right there on the leaf. And see, this is rhinestones, but the safety chains, generally, that's a better piece because think about it. They put it on there because you paid money, real good money for it. You don't want to lose it. However, those shopping channels are starting to put that stuff, but it still gives you a good starting point for the vintage. Okay. And here's other ones. These you'll find frequently. Oh, I grabbed one of my scrap ones. Well, whatever. Your necklaces with the multi-chains. Bobby, you might remember women when you were young wearing these. And
yeah, my mom was June Cleaver.
Well, then you remember these.
In a trailer park.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say that.
Bobby.
A lot of these will be marked just Japan on what looks like almost a paper clip. I'm sure I have some here. Really, the amount of jewelry I've got here, guys, is it's video worthy. But they'll just be marked Japan. Well, just because we think of, made in China, a great majority of jewelry in the 50s, the costume that you'd get at the Five and Dime, Woolworths and that, every lady wanted to look nice. Well, it came from Japan. Your finer jewelry was made here in America back then. So that stuff is collectible, and you do find it more frequently than your better pieces because, there were so many lesser economic ladies buying it. But it's becoming more and more collectible, and just the beads, the kinds of beads, the glass, even if they're broken, and that's what I'm saying, broken pieces too. That's another area I'm going to go. It's all valuable. There's crafters repurposing. There's, people remaking jewelry. You've probably even seen broken jewelry wall pictures, the Christmas tree ones, everything. And this is a rule I've always lived by. If it was ever made, I'm going with the jewelry here. If it was ever made, somebody wants it. Sometimes somebody wants it for some price. It's just how much. Because, there's crafting. And like I've said, you're going to find the bags and it ends up looking like this. And you're going, oh my God, what? Single earrings, can sell in lots. And you'd be surprised. It's like early on, I thought if it didn't have a pair, it didn't have a mark, it wasn't worth nothing. And so that was something that it took a while for me to get over. And now here, especially with eBay, you single earrings that you get in what I just showed you came in a giant sandwich baggie. And I picked out the good stuff, the things with names, good rhinestones and that. And then, you're left with singles and whatever. Have a box that you put that into, get a sizable lot. It doesn't have to be super huge. And then put up for crafting or whatever and say singles. I just looked last night and I was surprised somebody was getting like $40, $50 for stuff that's not even marked.
Wow.
So, yeah. So when it's coming to the craft stuff, if you'll learn that, the lesser quality, you can sell it. Now, you find a lot of this kind of stuff now in garage sales. This is that, every dollar store kind of stuff. This is the kind of thing, you put it in craft lots or flea market for $1 or, put it in a small lot of this kind of stuff. And the younger people will buy it
Right.
for less than they would buy it in the store.
So Angie's saying, how do you get a good estate sale deal on day one? Where do you start?
Where do I start, or where did
I mean, your experience, so you know what you're looking for. We don't,
Yeah.
and that's kind of why we wanted to help people, because I don't buy jewelry typically. I pass it, and I'm looking for certain things that aren't quite as valuable. And I've heard you and Travis talk about jewelry before, and I know there's other people in here that sell jewelry, but I know I can sit there and comp it all day, but I got a lot of things going on. I'm thinking I'll find out from somebody I know that knows it.
Okay.
And you studied it religiously with the books and stuff when you were younger. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hours and hours, pretty pictures, read about it, and yeah, it's, repetition of seeing the same stuff's how you learn. One thing at estate sales on the first day, it depends on your area. So there's that. Some areas you've got more knowledgeable people.
Yeah, mine have corncob pipes with rhinestones in them and stuff. I mean,
yeah. See, Tracy's pointing out, like I said, using it to repurpose or to repair. And I will admit that back when I had more time, I would do that because, like, for instance, those brand names like Listener, Coro, Trifari, well, they made certain stuff, cookie cutter. If somebody has a necklace that, if it's complete, it's $400 or $500 or whatever, you can buy broken. And that's why broken lots, that's, you say, for fix or repair craft in the title. Mm-hmm. And you'll have those names, the key names, like it's Coro pieces, Trifari pieces. And people will look for those same pieces that they have and get the stone and take it out. And it's worth their time to then fix theirs.
Right. That makes sense.
That's really easy with your rhinestone, with the prong pieces. When you get into the glued, that's another matter, because glue can sometimes change the foil on the back, but we won't. But when you were saying about good deals, well, now we throw a dog in. No one's going to hear anything. We see a
I'm dog sitting. My mother.
Your mother's a dog?
No, my mother's not feeling good, and we got bad weather, so she's like, "Will you take Skippy for a couple of days?" And this guy follows me everywhere. I'm like, "Geez!" Then he crowds me at night.
Yeah, I'm sure he's taking up a lot of space.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All 10 pounds of them.
Well, one thing you were saying about finding a good deal on the first day of an estate sale. Right. A lot of estate sales, and I am saying this, I've been to estate sales all over, they overlook earrings. And I have found, even on the last day of a sale, I have found Dior earrings, Yves Saint Laurent. It's YVES. It's one of the weird ones.
Yeah, Tracy actually showed a jacket that she wore modeling today on Instagram of a Yves Saint Laurent.
Really? I've been a bad little person. I haven't looked on my phone today.
Well, she showed a photo. I don't know if the photo was her, but she showed a photo of the jacket.
It is. The photo was her.
Oh, it is her? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
She got to wear nice things.
Mm-hmm. She had short hair.
Well, 'twas the 90s. Not everybody's still rocking their 80s long hair. But like here, not art. And I'll explain this. The quality's there, beautiful stones, but again, not marked. So they'll go, $3 a pair, whatever. Well, one thing, a lot, not all, but a lot of the companies, they would sell a set and the earrings didn't get marked. That's just sort of an overall rule. You'll find really good quality that aren't always marked, and you'll eventually find the marked piece. And you'll find that, they put the Trifari, the Coro on the necklace, the bracelet, the brooch, sometimes not even the brooch, but the earrings didn't get marked. And so you can find really good deals. And now, with that Google Lens thing, yeah, I said it like that.
Yeah.
You can take a picture and, I've seen people pull up stuff that I'm like, really? But remember I said mass produced. So it's in there. There's a pretty good, selection in the Google memory. I know I sound like an idiot and I'm old there, but
Gwen's asking if you ship it first class and buy insurance, or how do you ship your jewelry? Obviously, if it's high value, you're going to pay for insurance, right?
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, two things with that. Generally, I find most of the jewelry I ship first class. I very rarely ship priority, and I very rarely get insurance. My rule is, because it's comfortable for me, over $100, I might buy insurance. And I'll admit to this, and some people might find that, sometimes I'll look up the address and Google Earth it, and, especially if it's a higher item.
I've done that. I'm
not kidding. There was something,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know. And I Googled Earth it, and it was like an apartment complex where they all look the same. And I'm like, signature confirmation. It's worth the $2 for me. So it's, your own comfort. But yeah, I live on anything that is under a 12 by 12 by 12 by 8, the 7 boxes. I don't do bigger than that.
I did a video game one time in New York City, and I looked it up, and it was an $8.5 million apartment. So I was like, if they can afford an $8.5 million apartment in Manhattan, they can afford a $200 video game.
Yeah, I just had somebody that was a 0 feedback, and I'm like, and they bought a $100 Christmas ornament from me, and I was like, I don't know about that. And it was these silver Christmas ornaments that I showed on Noelle and I's show that I collect. And I Googled, looked it up, and it was in Maryland, and the house price, it sold last year for it was almost $5 million. And I'm like, I feel good on this one. I'm not getting signature. We're good. But anyways, I didn't know if there were any more questions I can address, because really I'm saying start to learn construction. Go through the solds like Tommy said. I mean, that's where I would tell a newbie, really. But learn the places, start looking at pieces that you know, and see where things are marked. And I'm going to get to a couple of the harder, gosh darned it, little mouse.
Do you do watches too?
No. Okay. I know about watches, but there is the men that get into watches. I'm sure there are women too, but they're vicious. I mean, jewelry people are bad enough, and there's too many variables. So that's a niche of its own. Watches. Right. I mean, I'll know if it's an antique watch or, if it's Art Deco, and I know the ones that are gold, the ladies' gold watches, I'll pick those up because I know them by sight. But watches in general, no, I do not. Now, here's something I want to show you. Things you think they're cheap. They look cheap. These are plastic beads, just little plastic beads. I mean, they look like that paper craft. Some of us might remember the paper craft you do in camp. And sure enough,
like Tiger's Eye rock.
Yeah, they're not rock. Oh, and that's another thing. We'll talk that in a second. And it's Trifari on the back of that clasp. Now it's sitting here because it was getting listed.
So you're mainly looking for markings of some kind, whether it's gold content, silver content, or names, like Weiss.
Yeah, you look at your clasps. You learn the different kinds of clasps. Excuse me. You look for any markings, the construction. Like here, I'll show this. Look at how that is attached there. This little aluminum thingy. Oh, I really needed my nails done. That cheap like that. That's that stuff. Now this is an older piece, so that's where you have an exception. But generally, you see that it's not valuable at all. Well, heck, that necklace is like maybe $8. I really need people to kind of ask questions. I really want you guys to ask questions because honestly, like I said, I could talk and talk and talk forever on things. But
we're going to ask about glassware too, because that's something, again, I don't like shipping it myself. I know Karen has picked up a lot of plates and stuff like, now I'm drawing a blank. She's been getting these deals lately where she finds a stack of plates like Sunburst, and she'll pay $15 for a complete set butter dishes, and she'll sell the butter dish for $90 by itself. And I'm like, I don't want to ship that stuff, but she's making a lot of money off dishes and glassware. Like, what's the glassware that's famous? Not cut glass, but what's the other one? That dings when you touch it, it kind of makes a lead glass. No, is it leaded glass?
Thank you, Tracy. Well, I really was hoping to focus on this. I mean, glass.
You can. I just know that those are two areas that I've heard you talk about a lot, and on Noelle's channel, and I was just like, I knew she knew a lot about jewelry, but I didn't know how much you knew about other stuff until I started watching when you were on there, and I was like, oh my goodness, she knows everything. But you weren't going out to source; you were staying in.
Yeah. No, I will say that, I know a lot about a lot. But the areas that I don't ever touch, I don't do sports, tools, fishing, you know, I mean, that goes in sports,
Right.
but because I was always hoping to get a man that knew those things, you know, so then it would have been, a real good pairing there. And yes, Boom Dia, you came in after we'd said yes about the jeweler's loops. I said it's invaluable. And then, yeah, your ring sizer. This one is the solid steel that I've got one at every one of my desks, but this one, murder weapon. And you can get if you can find a really good, the steel ones are better than the plastic because the plastic can actually warp and throw things off. And I have found that they're not very true to size. But if you can get not only the American sizes, but the ones that then also have the UK sizes, because those are letters and numbers like O, O and a half, P, P and a half, that kind of thing.
Tommy said he's never heard you talk on Noel's channel.
Tommy, last summer, Noel and I did a series. We came up with this idea, and it was that every week we would touch on certain little topics, and she was real good with the pulling up things on the screen because I don't know the text size or, of everything. And we just did various, there was so much with Christmas that we decided to make 2 shows of that. But you guys should all go. Many of you know Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger. Da-da-da. And she also, her and I both have too small of heads for everything we know. And it's the craziest stuff you never think of. She knows lots. So go look. The series that we did it's called Let's Talk About It. And Noelle has continued to do that with some other people and various, there's so many topics. But yeah,
Listen, do you do wholesaling? Gwen's asking about wholesaling.
I never have, but it's almost getting to the point. Some of you might have thought I was kidding back in the day when I would talk from the porch and I said I needed to find my living room. It was under many, many feet of jewelry. Well, some of that jewelry has come into here. And what I would do is, get the masses at the estate sales or garage sales, buy it all, pick the good stuff out. And then what I didn't think was worth my time, I'd move on to other stuff, get newer things, and it just piles up. As we all know as resellers, the death piles. But currently, I don't, but I might.
So are you selling still on eBay? Is that your only platform for jewelry?
Yeah. I've looked into the other platforms. I've listened, intensely to everyone say the pros and the cons. And really, I've been with eBay since 97.
What's your store name on eBay?
Well, I just want to say that it doesn't look good right now. I don't have 50,000 listings. And really,
I just want to look at what you got listed because it gives me kind of an idea from somebody I know that knows what they got.
But you don't have to give it. That's fine.
No,
yeah, you don't have to.
It was out there, so people knew. It is Kitty Mom 1 with the number 1. So it's KITTYMOM 1. But I don't have a whole lot.
Thought when you were talking about it earlier that you changed it after that.
No? Yeah. But, as compared to lots of the people in our community, it probably looks very weak right now. And I do have the worst feedback rating, which we were talking about, that I've ever had. And I don't care. Because I had somebody buy something off me. She was questioning me about a $300 ring. So your feedback number doesn't matter. Because, more than likely, the Amazon mentality, people don't bother to leave feedback unless it's something that they're annoyed about. And this crazy woman, there was nothing to deal with her. So it's all hooey bunk anyway.
Right.
But anyways, really, and I'm trying to say, I've got so much around here. Always look for signatures. Here's one that's going to blow your mind.
Hey, I asked that question and I'm already a follower of your store. I just hadn't looked at it.
Really? What's
now
that?
I am.
But looking for signatures and stuff, just random things. If you've got time to look, this is a wood lightweight bangle. Doesn't look like anything.
Right.
There was a basket at this estate sale, and this was day 2 or 3, and it was just your plastic junk bracelets, which of course I don't have any around. I don't know if I can get it to show, but very faintly. Oh, yep, there we can see it right at the
yeah.
bottom. Can you read what that says?
Let me get you bigger. Hang on. I'll do a solo layout. Something parade.
Peretti?
Something.
It is Peretti, and that
Okay.
says Tiffany and Company.
Whoa.
This is an early 80s Peretti, and I got the matching sterling donut bangle too. And now here's another example of, yes, these always have a little damage. You can see that flat spot on the top. But this is still a $500 bracelet, which, yes, I have pictures. I need to get them listed. But I picked them both up for $4 a piece. And they were just in a basket. So you can't look inside things, on the sides, any markings. You're looking for markings. And you will.
Hey, I saw you sold some, was it Yves Laurent, but you sold some Yves Roker.
Oh, Yves Rocher.
And do you have any Al Roker perfume or cologne?
I wondered how long before Bobby would be Bobby.
Right.
Oh, now this right here, this snowflake brooch that I've got.
That's cute.
Just found it in a basket of costume. Didn't look like much, but on the back, right there in the middle, and it was all tarnished, and that's something else. That says Eisenberg Ice. And originally, Eisenberg started in the 30s. They made clothing, and they always put a piece of jewelry on the clothing. Well, people started stealing the jewelry off the clothing, so they stopped making clothes and just started making the jewelry. And it has continued. That's a very good name. And it has continued. Even now, the newer pieces still go. And you look up the completed on those. I paid $25 for this. So you just got, oh, heck. So, I'll look through everything, learn the construction, and learn really chuckles. Another thing that
was a good one.
One thing that I really want to stress is learn what tarnished sterling looks like, because a lot of people will overlook it. You see anything that's gray. I'm just using this as an example because that's sterling. It looks bluish here, but anything that's this dark gray, pick it up and look closer. I can't tell you how many wonderful pieces I've gotten because people are like, oh, it's tarnished, it's yuck. And then you look at the clasp, and that's another thing. On the gray pieces, right there, you can see at the bottom the thumb part of the piece that moves there.
Yes.
When you're looking at clasps, look at both sides of that little piece, and that's where you'll find there'll be marks of the 925, 750, which is 18K. That we're saying got to have that loop. I used to be able to just move my contact and be able to read, but now got to use a loop.
Oh, I've got glasses. When I want to see something up close, I'll show you.
Pork chops.
Right?
No, I'm serious. I have to take my regular reading glasses because I have 20/20. I just can't see up close. And so when I want to see, I put these on, and they're like a magnifier, and they're cheap on Amazon, but they let me look down at something and see it, when it's small print.
We got to buy.
Y'all aren't as old as me, so,
I saw that Boom Dia asked, is it Bakelite? Which one?
That bracelet, that black one that you had. Yeah.
No, I wasn't going to go into Bakelite because that's its own thing in the plastics. I mean, I could do shows every day for a year on plastics. This is lacquered wood, and it is as light as balsa. It is so light.
I have some wood I have some wood bolo ties that are Native American type stuff, but I haven't sold them. And Gwen, that trend will never be in my backyard. I am not wearing no pearl earrings or necklaces.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Tommy's been doodling on his notepad. Now he's starting over.
Okay.
Remember when you were in school and you always would doodle on your little notes while you were in class?
Doodling is a sign of higher intelligence.
It is? All right. Well, Tommy wasn't doing that then. Kidding, Tommy. Kidding.
Tommy is a very brilliant guy.
He is. He knows a lot.
Oh, dang.
He taught me about
actually
reverse
recorded.
weave champion shirts.
Now he'll be
That's
playing
my
that back.
neighborhood either.
It's
Now,
a beautiful day.
I was just pulling this up. Here's another one.
Okay.
This I got at my clothes menor, and there actually was the whole set on a card for I think $8 at the time. And look at the nice snake skin like construction, and look at the back, how they're linked so nicely, and everything's well coated. It doesn't look chintzy, and it was really difficult to see the mark, but right next to the box clasp right there at the top. Now it doesn't show well here, but that says Irwin Pearl. Now it's not a really desirable, but it's still money. I mean, everything's subjective. What I think's not worth a whole lot, it's a ton of money to somebody else.
Right, exactly.
You know, so
you paid $8. What's it worth?
Right now I have this listed, and I'll take some offers because there's none like it. I couldn't find any. Well, there was silver, but this is a gold one, and I have the earrings and the bracelet. I mean, I'll easily get $100 for the set.
Okay, well, that's a good return on your investment.
Like I said, it's all subjective. The reason I have a lot of this is at the time it wasn't. I go for the higher ticket items. Okay, Gwen's saying sell it in your store. I missed something.
I think she's still talking about the bracelet.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, here I'm going to go with some modern that is really more coveted now than it was, unfortunately, before she passed away. Joan Rivers, which is that shopping channel stuff. Some of the stuff is actually good. And you will find the stuff sitting at estate sales and people just pass over it. Well, especially her brooches. Now, this is actually mine. And I wish it would show how beautiful this is. The construction is really good. Even though the stones are glued in, there is a huge following for like Joan Rivers stuff, and especially the brooches. I've sold numbers of them. Some of them are limited edition, but even this one that's not, you know, you see her stuff always has a good cartouche there with Joan on it.
It has a good what?
Cartouche. It's the mark. The oval is. It's just
okay. Right. Okay. No, that's good to know.
But oh yeah, see, Melissa McAdams is saying about her the eggs, because she did Russian egg miniatures and that. I have some in the next room, and the bees. Her bees are her most known, but a lot of the flower brooches and swans, everything, birds. These brooches, I routinely sold many of them in the $100 to $150 range, and I pick them up for, you know, maybe $15, $20 at a sale. Some of them less than that. But yeah, I mean, even just ordinary earrings, I'll bag up, because some of the early stuff. My mom was a QVC junkie, so I saw all this from the early days. I know QVC inside, outside, upside down.
Right.
$750 is $8. What's $925? Is $925 silver?
Yes, that's silver. But also your silver, you can have things that are continental silver. I told Polly that the other day. If you see 800, that's continental silver. That's Europe. A lot of souvenir things will be marked that. Then you've got, you know, your fine silvers that are 950 and 980, and that you'll find that a lot on Mexican pieces of higher quality designers. We won't even go into that, but the Mexican silver, you can be shocked at what some of the Mexican silver, the good designers, goes for. I got to take a sip. And yes, people are going to say it is a 4-cup measuring cup.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
You're drinking tea?
Oh,
with
I
tea bag still in
long.
it? But you had tea bag still in it. Oh, okay.
That is a big ass cup.
That's a big ass cup.
And I drink probably 3 of those a day. Easy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, here, Gwen, obviously Gwen and Melissa are more familiar with the modern stuff, the Kenneth J. Lane and Bob Mackie. Bob Mackie doesn't do as well, but And Kenneth J. Lane has some that do really well, but most of his is kind of mediocre. Still money,
Right.
so I mean they are there, but like I said, look for the marks and don't dismiss the home shopping stuff. I flock to it if I see in like a garage sale ad or something and it says home shopping items. 9 times out of 10 there's going to be jewelry even at that. And like here's another. I've actually got some of that. Now you rarely find them in the boxes, but these rocks, you'll find a lot of rock jewelry. Doesn't seem like much, and a lot of it really isn't. But the home shopping, look, we've got a little dangly. Now it is a heart, but it's not Brighton, but that makes you look more. And on that hook, you'll find some initials. Again, we need the loop. Some initials and the 925. This is Jay King. And he has been doing stuff on HSN for 25 plus years, I think he started. And the same kind of chain with some rocks on it, because we have a place called V-Rock shop here that they sell this stuff for crafts. Might be $5-10. But you get some of his stuff, you're looking at, 50 and up. I have a lot of his pieces, my own, that I wear. And then here, let's get some other. So yeah, I mean the home shopping stuff, don't dismiss it.
So when you're at a yard sale, for example, or an estate sale, are you sitting there actually looking at the pieces enough to find the markings, or are you just grabbing them because they're cheap and you take them home and look them up? Because I mean, when I'm at a yard sale, I'm moving fast.
It goes both ways, because no jokes. It goes both ways because I mean, if I know it if I recognize it, I just grab it. But then, because you're wasting time. Time is money, and you don't know what's at the next sale.
That's right.
If it's cheap enough, just grab it, and think about it as your reseller education, tuition. That's a lot of us. We make mistakes. I would rather have been paying in jewelry that wasn't worth as much as I hoped and learned about it than dropping, over 100,000 in college.
Right.
And not doing anything with that.
I take a lot of chances at yard sales if I see something that's $2, like the poker chips I found that time. $2, white with gold embossing. Didn't know what they were. They were European. She told me that's where she got them. I get them home. I open the case and it's Musté Cartier Paris. I sold them for $1,100. So it was like I had no clue when I picked them up, but they were $2 and they were nice. Right. So that's what I'm saying is, do you take chances? Because I would just grab jewelry and go, yeah, that looks cheap. That looks cheap. Because I know nothing about it because I don't wear it. I wear a Fitbit watch. And it doesn't work because I'm not fit.
I wanted to hit another one of the home shopping ones, the Heidi Daus. I have some of that in my store right now. Yeah, Heidi Daus. It's Daus. Okay. I have some downstairs because I've got some listed in my store. I actually scored at my my little thrift store. Somebody had brought in all of their grandmas, and it was Heidi Daus, Heidi Daus, Heidi Daus. They couldn't believe it. They're like, "Oh my God, you bought $300 worth of stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, and I'm going to turn this into over $1,000." Okay,
nice.
But her stuff has a particular look that really, once you've seen a couple pieces, you get to know it. I mean, her style is very specific. If you look it up. So yeah, she's another one that's really good. But like, here's a home shopping one. This is like maybe a $30 necklace. It's faux turquoise. His name doesn't get much. But it looks good. And again, but we looked. Here's a little tag on the end. And this is Graziano. Sorry, sometimes I trip on my tongue.
Graziano.
Yeah. And so you're like, ooh, Italian. Oh, it must be something. This is along with the Heidi Daus gang. He's one of them. But this would have cost more when they bought it than what it's worth. But it's nice pieces to wear. But yeah, like I said, $30. You pick it up for $2. Okay, who cares? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could carry that. I could wear that when I get knighted next month in England.
You're going to England?
When I know there's just so much that, to spew off and to try to that yeah, I'm gonna miss a few people.
Yeah, we're just, I mean, again, that we said when we started this thing back up, we agreed that we were going to have on people that have knowledge of things, and some of it will be stuff we know about and some of it will not, but jewelry and glassware were something I knew nothing about, and I know people that know about this stuff. Karen knows a lot about glassware and some of that jewelry, but I'm like, yeah, but, and Tommy had a point. I mean, go out and research it. Yeah, but I mean, when you're as busy as I am all the time, I don't have time to do research on Hot Wheels that I've got and stuff.
Right,
So.
exactly.
Really, I can't stress enough. Get the stuff, touch it. You know, the tangible learning, the feel, the weight. I mean, you can feel cheap and, you know, real chintzy materials. You can feel over time you start to learn, you know. And I mean, a good rule on a lot of them is the weightier tends to be better. Either it's some sort of really good costume gaudy. What am I missing? Oh, Chuckles knows.
Chuck wants to know if he's supposed to talk like he knows something, and she says, "No, we know you don't know anything, Chuck."
Yeah, like here's another Joan Rivers brooch, and
you know, really pretty.
Oh, it like in person it is. I hate how this blows things.
Wow, that's definitely unique.
Rachel, hi Rachel.
And yeah, I mean, look, prong set, and then we've got really nice enamel and enamel pieces. Especially if you get older ones, learn what enamel looks like, because that is generally really good money, no matter what kind of enamel you get. Even 80s pieces that are enameled, it's not the true enamel, but it's still called that. And like I've got pieces up on my site right now, 80s jewelry that's enamel site. Like I talk like I got a store. eBay. I got it up on eBay.
Right.
Because I'm that special. But
Glenn says, can you show a couple of pieces that give us what your title would be for unbranded?
That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, I'll pull up Rhinestones does real good with that.
And Karen also asked how much that Joan Rivers brooch would sell for.
Which one? This one, the flower one with the stones. Now, this is not one of the limited edition, but this one still, and in person, it is jaw-dropping. It's Aurora Borealis stones. Learn that word, guys. Aurora
Borealis.
The
Northern Lights. Yeah.
Yes, but it's a type of rhinestone that is very collected, and that is a key word that you want to have if you've got it. You know, people search for that more than iridescent, which is the one most people. Oh, Karen was saying about the flower one. This one, I've seen it all over the spectrum, but a safe amount for it would be like 70. I've seen it go as much as 130. And the same for this. If I were to sell this, because I actually did write the ad and I decided I loved it, I would put 125 on it. And if it doesn't sell or have interest in, now see, I sit on things longer, 6 months, then I put on
right.
take offers.
I'm like that. I'll buy a video game that I'm really liking, even though I don't play them, but I think it's cool. And then I'll like price a little higher. If it doesn't sell, no big deal. But if it does, I'm like, okay, I got to let it go.
So last week I bought this bag. It was full of jewelry. Here, I'll show you. And so what I've learned so far is I got ripped off for $10.
No.
I've been looking with my little loop and
show it again.
Find one ugly thing. Here you go. This is a Monet. That's it.
Yeah, that's the stuff that dime a dozen garbage crap in the 80s. Oh. Okay, now I want to say, no, you did not really get ripped off. You just didn't score, because that bag, that's how these flats around me got filled up, that it's like, it's not worth my time. Angie, you put that up as a lot on eBay.
Really?
Say for the necklaces, the plastic necklaces like that.
There's so many.
If there's lots of plastic necklaces, you can put in the title about for dress up, crafting, dress up for children, especially a lot of the plastics.
There's some ugly things in here. Look at that.
I know. I've
that again, Angie.
It's like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's in what's that show? Dark 40 Shades of Grey or something. That's what they wore.
Something.
Yeah.
Leave it to
Yeah,
Bobby to pull that title out, eh?
I knew we were going to have Liz on, so I like intentionally bought this just so I would like, but it was just $10 of nothing.
Okay.
Look, I got a watch with Reese on it. Okay, not good. Look at this ugly thing. Woo!
Yeah, we could play games of ugly things. Yeah, see, I mean, like, I've got, Angie, I've got a bag of that with the watches and the junk sitting right here that I picked up at a sale. And
Really?
I got, like, I got, because I saw there were 80s looking earrings in it. And that's another thing. A lot of the 80s earrings and stuff, the 80s jewelry, is starting to really become desirable. Whereas to me, I always had a problem that if it's stuff that I grew up with,
right,
you know, it's hard for me to think that, but here, let's look at it. That's 35 years old or 40, you know?
right.
A new generation has discovered the wondrous beauty of, so, you know, that's part that's hard to get around. I have not forgotten the other questions. I want to say to Gwen, or whoever it was, about Betsy Johnson jewelry. The only one making money off of that is Betsy Johnson.
Betsy Johnson.
You know what? When we were younger at the roller skating rink, you know, back in the 70s, we thought we were high cotton because we were wearing puka bead necklaces.
I got some of those around here. Now here's one. I wanted to answer the question of, if you had some unmarked, what kind of title would you put? Now, see, this is missing a stone, but let's pretend it's not. I kept it because these are such good stones, and I hope that maybe I might find a triangle to fit in there. But this is an unmarked piece. Well, it's a quality unmarked piece. See, there's that back, the quality 50s, 60s jewelry. So what I would say is, in this, the color is phenomenal. I would say something like, you know, cocktail 1950s. Pink is really big.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can get away with saying, like, you know, with a question mark, you know, it maybe or attributed to our style. But I think for that, it would really be, I'd be driving on that it's a 50s cocktail pink, you know, dinner bracelet, and that. Probably not the best example. I've got so many here, guys. Literally hundreds in this box. And yeah, here's another thing. Things with wear, you can see that the silver is showing underneath the gold tone.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Don't ignore it because it's got wear. The style, the name, the construction, whatever, can supersede that. Like I said, some people find it acceptable with wear on them, especially if it's someplace that comes in contact with your skin like that. See, this has a safety chain, so that warranted looking at it. It's caught, but you can see it.
Uh-oh.
But it's not marked clasp. I looked at the clasp, nothing on there. I looked around the whole thing, nothing.
What is a clasp earring?
Not pierced ears.
Oh, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got. Yeah, here we go.
Not everybody wants to poke a hole in their face.
Right.
Well, you've got your different types. You've got screwbacks. That's the screwbacks right here.
Oh, okay.
And finding markings on screwbacks, these are unmarked, but I'm just going to say, see the U shape of the screwback. On the sides, a lot of time, they'll be marked. The disc on the back can have a name or a design mark. And then, this is a tricky one that I probably shouldn't share because I get a lot for this. But on the presser foot, the part that goes against your ear here,
right?
A lot of the gold ones, that's where they put the mark that says 14K, is on the inside that goes to your ear.
Oh.
Yeah. So
well, this is why we had you on, so we can learn this stuff.
Right.
Right. I mean,
I'm going to be looking at earrings at yard sales.
Me too.
The most common that you'll see are, you know, these ones, the ones that look like the old pull rings from soda and beer cans, you know, and that right there is just a cushion.
I always thought they were called clip-ons. No, I didn't realize.
Clip-ons, clips. There's, you know, pushback.
Clap on the clapper.
Clip-on.
I know, I'm messing with you.
Crazy.
So, I mean, there's all the different backs, but And so many of them. Now, these little bead ones like this, most often are the Japan. They may be marked Japan, they may not. I lot those.
Well, there's a lot of things were made in Japan after World War II for a while. Toys and cars and
oh yeah, and
Barbies.
The Japanese, the glass pieces that came from Japan, really. Right. I mean, there's so many of them, but the beads are such good quality. I mean, even the plastic pieces can be repurposed into nice things. Okay, now, like, here's an example. Okay, we've got the prong set. The back has the really nice metal that's put together in that. Everything about this says, oh, this is really good quality. It's not marked. But I guarantee somewhere out there, this would probably be like the listener family, those kind. And there's other brands that aren't as familiar. Yeah, see, Gwen says she sells a lot of clip-on.
Oh, really?
I find more bigger things to deal with. And now a lot of the single earrings like this that aren't marked, people will put them into small lots. And I've been surprised how much the small lots go for. And like this, it's just plastic, really kind of almost chintzy looking construction, but it's 60s and it kind of goes with flower jewelry. And that's,
wow.
I should have brought flower jewelry up. I've got a box down there.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay. Angie?
How do you know?
We see your hand. Yeah, we see your hand.
How do you know if like stones are real or like they're just junk? Like, you know,
plastic
I know
versus stone.
Yeah.
Okay. Temperature is a main thing.
Okay.
Your plastic. Well, first off, you can have a teeth tap test, and you know the difference between glass. Just tap a stone. You can do that because there's some that they'll be set in. You know,
Travis said it's cold to the touch.
That's what I'm saying. I was getting to the temperature.
Okay.
Stones and the glass will be cold. Plastic will be room temperature. It'll be the same, and it also will have just a low thud. Whereas your glass and stones have that high tink, 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 tink.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, see, they're cold if they're not natural. Or if it is natural.
This is obviously no good. I mean, but it had one of your little things, and it says White House Black Market, which is a clothing brand.
Yes. Now, that's where I said, anytime you see a tag, it's worth investigating. Okay. That is actually worth your time. It's not super expensive, but White House Black Market, the jewelry, everything is expensive from them. So even though it's costume, that's where I'm saying about the dangled tags. Always investigate.
So you just paid for that bag.
Just paid for that bag. Thank you so much.
White House Black Market, yeah, easily $10.
Good. Well, that's how much I spent on the whole lot. So
after fees, you'll lose money, but you got other stuff a lot of.
It was literally the spur of the moment. Oh, cool, a jewelry I know nothing about. Literally.
That's why I love when I got a $17 item and they send me a $2.50 offer. I mean, first of all, it's not even worth me getting up and going and getting it. Two, after fees, I won't even make a quarter, and then I'm gonna have more in packaging. So guess what? Decline.
True.
Yeah. Now here,
I touch him to my cheeks.
Oh yeah, COVID maybe not.
I've been trapped in my own little world, but yes, that's a good point with now. But yeah, unless you let it sit for weeks and weeks and weeks, then the cooties will be dead.
True.
And being that I come from a medical background, we got plenty of cooties on us that are just fine. So, anyways, here's another one. This is ugly. Ugly sells. I hate. It's a rule in everything. Ugly sells. Now, yes, this is turquoise, which the whole turquoise thing, there's, you got to learn there's faux turquoise, there's dyed howlite.
And doesn't turquoise go in phases? Sometimes it's popular, sometimes it's not.
It has historically been like that because in the Victorian era, it was extremely popular. Then it didn't regain popularity outside of the Native American community until the 50s. It started with the tourist, the Airstream travel to the Southwest. People would get it. So it had
Navajo,
a resurgence.
Yeah.
It fell out of popularity in the 60s, then resurgence in the 70s with all the hippie, the bell-bottom crew. you. And then it has come back here in the what do we call it? The teens?
Right.
Um,
I mean, I
but
still
yeah.
have a ring. When I graduated, my aunt bought me a ring, and it's silver, turquoise, and mother of pearl. And I still have it, but I don't think it's worth a ton of money. I don't know.
Well, now, this is where, designers can use cheap stuff. They're selling their name.
Right.
Like this, that's like lead solder holding those together. It looks like something you'd find at, Plato's closet. The chain is junk metal. And even, I mean, it's all costume metal. But it had a name on it. And it's like, okay, it's got a name. I'm going to look it up. She's not super well known, but Jamie Dietrich, it's Jamie Dietrich. I've only ever seen 2 pieces of her stuff. So she's
right.
But it's the point of it's costume metals. Yeah. Not all that great, but there's a name to look up. And these toggle closures.
All right. Sorry.
Bobby, you're not muted, Bobby.
Sorry, I got a phone call, so go ahead.
Toggle closures are sometimes they can be sneakily marked, and that would be on the bar. Oh yeah. Always look at the toggle bar because they'll put it even on the underside of the bar, where it's close to the chain. So look at the whole toggle. I've found gold necklaces with it just marked on the toggle. Everybody missed them. And then the backside, the toggles will be marked. But sneaky spot, look at your toggle bar for marks.
Yeah, I mean, what I've learned tonight is definitely looking at all the little clasps and things and the little hanging things. That I've learned more than anything because once I see that, then that kind of gives me an idea.
Well, and construction. But yeah. Look at your top. Look at the top part. Look at the bottom part. Like, here's one. I wish I hadn't polished it. Because a lot of times, and this is a good example. Okay, your silver, they'll put a silver pendant, and it's marked on here somewhere. Oh, like on the undersides here, you look on there for your silver marks. Real tiny, and they can be faint.
Now, what will the silver be marked?
925. And then sometimes in loops of the pendants, and that's usually your gold pieces. But think about this. People will trade out a chain. They're like, oh, I like this pendant. I'll put it. And they'll put something real on a costume chain.
Oh.
And I actually have 2 diamond necklaces that I got that way. Because if you just looked at the top and went, oh, well, there's nothing, but there was a pendant, and you look, wow, it's marked. So that's something that you can overlook really good things because they traded out the chain. That's where I found a lot of really good scores with that because, we do it ourselves. Okay. Ask me questions, people.
Travis says, how about just sterling and not 925 marking?
Generally, when you find it just marked sterling, this is not always the case, but you find it generally just marked sterling. It's an older piece. They really started doing the 925, in the 70s. Really sterling tends to be before that. But, sometimes you'll have that it'll be marked, STER and the 925. And sometimes you'll just see STER. And I can't believe there's people that don't realize that means sterling, but so
Rachel
there's that.
says she's found diamond and gold pendants that way. So
yeah, look at the bottom. That's what I'm saying.
Angel.
Hi, Angel. She's a sterling collector. And there's so much more fake sterling that's marked. Here's one that I have found, and I learned it the hard way. And it's a lot of that, shopping channel stuff. There's a brand mark on some of them that's FAS and then 925. If it's marked FAS, that stuff's crap. Don't touch it.
What does FAS stand for?
It's just the company that made it. And
F.A. Schwartz?
No, FAS. It's out of Thailand or China, I think.
Oh, okay. No, that's the whole thing with fake. There's so many. I mean, I don't even touch Coach purses anymore because of that. You know, it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to take a chance. So I know there's ways to tell, but still, all it takes is one person to pull it down off eBay and you can't argue with them. So,
well, over time, you can't, I mean, you've got to look and make sure that, you know, there's the fake ones that just have a flashing of silver. It can wear off especially around the clasp. So that's always good if you're questioning it. And then there's people that'll take the magnets. We can do the magnet thing. Magnets, if it attracts to that, but it says silver, it's not. Same thing with gold, because they're not magnetic.
oh, wow.
So
That's a good tip.
get the really strong ones.
Ring mark West Germany with a black stone and a soldier cameo. Can't part with it.
Can't part with it.
When I was in the Navy and we were in Naples, everybody was going over to the Cameo factory and buying Cameo stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Soldiers have brought back tons, especially from, the Far East. Oh, well, if we wanted to go on morning jewelry and stuff and Victorian, if I had to pick one area that I love more than anything, it is my Victorian and Deco. Those, I mean, they start to blend into one another, but Deco's mostly what I wear. And then the filigree, but then Victorian, I just have a passion for it. It's so hard to find now.
So Victorian, you're saying turn of the century? Victorian?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, what you find now is a lot of the gold-filled pieces, but they're beautiful. I mean, just even look at what the lots are going for. The gold-filled Victorian, people put them up in lots constantly, and I'm always looking at them. And I can't believe over the past 20 years how just the gold-filled Victorian for scrap and use, and it has wear, the prices. I just saw one lot the other day go for over $1,000. But even their gold-filled, what was their costume is better than a lot of our good stuff now.
Is vintage Cameo worth anything? Travis is asking.
Now that's a loaded one, because there are so many variables with your cameos, because cameos come in different materials. Some materials are a lot more collectible. Your shell cameo is generally that's your base run of the mill you're going to find.
Right.
And there is some collectability, but there's so many of them. The scene, the ones of the common lady face, dime a dozen. But you get ones of like there's the Three Graces. That's 3 women dancing. That's a little better. You find that one more. You get ones with animals. That's money. Buildings, that kind of stuff. Anything that's not the lady face, or even the ones with men. Those ones are better.
Yeah, mood rings. I remember those from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, Angel's saying about finding more and more sterling that's unmarked. There's odds are that it probably is marked somewhere and you can't find it. But I do know that she is right. There are some. That's why you need to learn to recognize the black pieces of tarnished silver. They weren't required to mark jewelry to content until 1906 in the United States.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have an 1890s Tiffany and Company ring that just says Tiffany and Company on it. And it's 18 karat gold. But yeah, so a lot of times you'll find great gold pieces in the Victorian jewelry and it's not marked. I mean, more often they did mark, but I've got tons. Let's see. Yeah, the unusual cameos. So I think we have several jewelry people in here.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Travis. Understood. FAS is full of.
Yeah.
Yep, but yeah, get a magnet.
Yeah, I don't pick up a lot of jewelry, but I'm going to be looking at it a little closer now. I mean, I picked up, like I said, like a St. Christopher's medal, but it was a skiing one to protect skiers, like snow skiers and French Alps and stuff like that. And those pieces were good, but not crazy money. But I didn't pay but a couple bucks for the bag. I started digging through it and seeing little charms and pendants. And I found little animal pendants, like charm bracelets and stuff, but nothing valuable. So that's why I really wanted to learn about this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, in here, I just want to, you've got to think about themes. Sorry, drop some. You've got to think about, different themes and niches, and that is, okay, cute, like I said, if something's cute, you know, animal pins, things like that. Novelty is always good. Things that can be like, now I'm not saying anything politically, you know, you've got red, white, and blue. You can put the donkey pins, elephant pins. I sell those, and you put in, you know, Republican, Democrat, whatever, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to be quality. People buy the vintage political theme stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you look at, just learn the quality. Learn that there's so many different angles, and most important, you know, learn where to look for marks. And like this
Nurse Flipper, she bought a bunch of brooches that were novelty, that were little crabs. Somebody had a whole collection. Some of them she was selling for a couple $100. They were vintage and unique.
It probably was either the designer or the materials for those kind of prices. And like, here's something, I mean, this is going on an extra level. Certain types of beads.
Right.
It's called, now I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's Gripolix. It's Gripolix or whatever.
Right.
This stuff, when you get those beads, oh my gosh, you can just, I mean, even if it's broken jewelry. Now this happens to be a Miriam Haskell piece.
That thing's
and massive. I don't have this. Remember, we talked about Miriam Haskell once. I don't have it up only for the fact that I can't decide on a price.
I knew an Eddie Haskell, but he was hanging out with my mom, June Cleaver, with the pearls.
Right. With your mom.
Yeah.
He was always so complimentary, and she was like, "Get away from me." Hey, Marcy.
Marcy.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I hate jumping around, but I was just saying,
jump around.
The home shopping stuff. And remember, we got little dangly tag. Now, this stuff it says bronze or bronzo. People buy this stuff. It was expensive. This is an HSN. And that's faux turquoise. It's a stone that's been dyed, or glass, whatever.
Right.
But they make this bronze stuff to look like gold. So a lot of times that can fool people. And I've actually had to argue with somebody at an estate sale and tell them it was not gold, that it's bronze.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, see on that lobster claw right there, the shiny big paw part?
Yeah.
It'll be like acid etched real faint, and people don't see that it'll say bronze. But remember, we look at the thumb. Remember the little thumb lever, and that's where you'll have your marks of 925, 14K. In fact, you know, if you've got any around the house yourself after the show, look at your pieces that you know what they are. And, you know,
mine say Walmart vending machine. I have to take them out of the little plastic thing.
Thank you, Van. Glad that, you know, hopefully I can impart something. Just if anybody walks away with just one extra nugget that may help them find something that they wouldn't have otherwise looked at, I mean, then that's...
Rachel wants to see you wear that big necklace you had a while ago.
Yeah, put it on.
Yeah, that thing was huge.
I'm guessing the Miriam Haskell.
Yeah, that one.
That actually is massive.
Wow.
I tend to...
Let me make you bigger there. Hang on, put that back up there. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. I do model or take photos of the necklaces on a lot. So let's see.
Yeah, JT does all my photography.
Well, thank you, Rachel. I know a lot about a lot. Whether other people think it's, you know, valuable, I don't know.
We do, for sure.
Here's one I'm surprised that it's becoming more collectible. It's part of that, you know, when we grew up, it was everywhere. And I was just setting aside a box of it to just sell it. But the simple stuff, it's marked, but it's marked Sarah Cove, which is Sarah Coventry.
Sarah Coventry, yep.
And sometimes you'll just see COV. It was home party stuff in the 60s and 70s. And it's actually, there's a lot of it out there, but people are wanting, so, you know, you can look, and whatever your price range is, you know, you pick it up for $25. Because like this stuff, I think that just looks like garbage. You know, the expanded rings, you know.
Oh, yes.
But that's Sarah Coventry. Throw it in a lot. Somebody will pay a couple bucks for it. I mean, here's another modern. Juicy Couture.
Oh,
yeah.
I see that stuff all over the place.
Yeah, now that's one of them that, you know, some of them are actually worth pretty good. And some of them, no. What I have found with Juicy Couture, I will pick up the clip-on charms. See, it's got that tag on it. We've got a little tag. And these are limited edition, you can see. And people collect those. I have sold some of these limited edition ones. Now, this is in the box, and this was RA for me. I peeled the sticker off, but I got it at TJ Maxx for, I don't know, I think $19.95 back in the day. And I knew I would sit on it, so that's different. But I've sold one. It was a teepee for $160 that opened. You know, anything that's movable. But these limited edition Juicy Coutures do really well.
How about Avon? Gwen's asking.
Okay, that's a good one there, Gwen. Most of us just think the regular Avon, no big deal.
Yeah,
like
crap.
Yeah. And for many years, it really kind of was just crap. I mean, well, the more modern stuff, well, 80s, whatever. But anyways, I digress. They did make some good sterling pieces in the 60s. And there's a couple of the sterling pieces. Well, any of the sterling goes okay, but there's a ring that's a skeleton key, and that consistently has always sold well. And it's marked. It's a skeleton key wrapped around your finger. And I've sold probably dozens of those over the years. But it'll say Avon and Spain, and then the sterling mark. And then they have a couple others. But also, going into the 80s and the 90s, Avon paired up with some stars and some real designers. And one of the foremost notables of pieces that sell well are Elizabeth Taylor. There you go. And Kenneth J. Lane also did. And Nina Ricci. I just sold some earrings of Nina Ricci's. Now, they didn't go very much, but I don't know, like I think it was $25. But yes, the Elizabeth Taylor, this is where I wish I could pull up examples to put on the screen, you know, like Noelle and her magic fingers. Look at this. Because the Elizabeth Taylor ones, I've only ever picked those up at garage sales and estate sales. And I mean, they don't look like much, but again, her signature will be on it. I'm sorry, I don't have one to show.
I was trying to catch Angie looking at her jewelry.
Ooh,
I'm just literally taking her advice and sorting.
That's one I do want to say. That is a difficult mark if you don't know. So this goes with that rule. You'll see the Avon really clear.
Okay.
Right.
And you'll go, oh, it's Avon. And
I'm thinking of Avon bottles and stuff. I don't touch any of that stuff, you know.
No,
perfume, cologne.
But the Elizabeth Taylor jewelry is marked in an oval cartouche with just a cursive capital E.
Let me look it up.
Like, yeah, if you pull it. I can't pull it up on the screen. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they did work with numerous designers, and the designer name will be on it or initials. So those are better pieces, and you can see. So what I would do is look up Avon and sort it by, you know, highest
higher
to
priced,
and eliminate the word lot. And you'll eventually get down to see some of the better pieces. Generally, those designer ones go in the 30 to 200 range, with, you know, the sets, of course, being better. But Elizabeth Taylor's, it's an Egyptian styled ones. Those are the really very popular.
This one's for $157.
See, Angie can do it. She can pull the magic window up. You guys were holding out on me, making me flounder around here.
Like we were trying to learn from you.
There it is. There's the little.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's a pretty unique piece too. I wouldn't even think of that being an Avon.
Well, that's what we said. You know, unique. You know, quality, unique.
Unique anything sells.
You know, prongs on your stones. Oh yeah, but learn to look for marks, and boy, they'll hide them. I had one around here. I was going to show another place that people do not think to look for marks on brooches that are highly overlooked, because you'll see something like this. This is Trifari, and it'll be marked up here in that little. You can see the rectangle, but there are jewelries. Learn to rub your finger or your fingernail really over the clasp bar like this.
Right.
One company that you'll find market there is Kremitz, and Kremitz jewelry has really gained in popularity. That's Krementz, and they market right there, so you feel on the pieces. And I'll do that when I see something that looks like nice quality on the front, but I don't see a mark on the back. I rub the bar, and there's been many times I'll find gold pieces that way because a lot of gold ones were marked on that bar. And then older pieces right there, where your little lever is, to spin to take your pin out.
Mm-hmm.
On that little lever, you frequently, on gold pieces, it'll be marked the 14K and stuff right there.
You do need a loop.
Yeah, here's some Juicy Couture ones. Little
see, there's the charms.
This is like a little karate or a spa. Oh, a spa. Sorry, my dog is. Wow, $143.
Wow.
This little bear, $46.
Yeah, you guys look at that. I'm looking for something.
See, the only bear I've ever sold is the Ralph Lauren bear that goes to like a purse.
Wow, look at this. Just a little lipstick charm for $59.99. That's awesome. I would have never even thought to look at those ever.
Wow.
Yeah, see? And I mean, yeah, because, it's a lot of the modern, I think that some of us sellers over 35, tend to just dismiss it all. It's modern, it's crap, but it's...
Who are you calling 35?
Yeah, I'm not 35 yet. I'm 34. I'm almost there. Almost times 2.
You're not.
Almost times 2.
I think Yakov's 34.
Yeah, Rachel said
Rachel's
35.
34.
I'm like, yeah, I'm almost double that. Yeah.
Now, here's like this. Just looks like a simple pin. Now, it does look like gold, but the pearls, we can even tell, they're faux pearls. Well, that doesn't mean this isn't a nice piece. What do? We look, we feel, okay, there's nothing on there. And you have to look, and very faintly, maybe I can get the image, you can see each one of the trumpets. There we go.
Oh yeah.
And
is that Brighton?
No, a lot of it is
like
a B. It is a B, but it's one of the it's Bow Sterling. Now you're gonna go, but it's gold. Bow was really popular as a company, BEAU, in the 40s. So you'll find a lot of 40s style pieces, but they gold washed over sterling. So
maybe I should start wearing brooches on my t-shirts. Those are kind of cool.
Yes, I think so.
Bobby, you might attract the wrong kind of crowd there.
Yeah.
Although I would be interested.
I don't live in Minnesota. Ask Gwen.
Karen said y'all went to a private pick of an elderly lady.
Yeah, she's going to a nursing home, and we went over. Karen bought some glass, and not glass, but she'll tell you it's a crystal. And then I bought a bunch of records and albums and stuff, which is what I shouldn't have been buying. But
we grabbed
one of the. I paid $40 for everything, and I've already got bids on one album. So it's like, okay, I'm going to make my money back from one album.
Nice.
Here's one kind of. It's unmarked, but somebody had mentioned that. I wanted to say Juliana as a keyword search. You could look that up. If you could, Angie, that'd be swell. If you pull up Juliana and in the jewelry catalog, because it's usually rhinestones. Boy, I wish I could get this lighting better. But this is one of those with the prongs. It's white, and then the Aurora Borealis. Juliana stuff's not marked. It was always marked with a hang tag, like a little piece of floss and a little paper tag. But this is where construction comes into play, guys. These are just regular little brooches.
Oh, this one's interesting.
Yeah, sorted by highest to low.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, Rivioli. I collect Rivioli. That's the style of stone in that blue one.
What What does this mean? Book piece.
Okay, those books that I love to look through, they show examples in their books. And people will use that as a selling point and say book piece. And it's a psychological thing, but people will want a piece that's shown in the book. So if it was lucky enough, you're lucky to get extra money. But Juliana pieces, it's in that construction game. See the open back on the stones? See, the backs are open, unlike the other ones that we showed where, they're set in and you just see the back.
Right. Okay.
But Juliana pieces, you've got the prongs and then open back. Generally, you find open back, use that as your title, put it in. It's rhinestone. It's probably a Juliana piece.
Would Google Lens pick that up?
I don't know. I've never tried. Now, these are lesser in value. This type I'm going to show you, and this is about that construction. Think about the ones that I have shown already and the construction we've been looking at. I will show you the construction on this. This looks chintzy and cheap. And it really is flimsy. It's darn near almost like a tinfoil feeling kind of thing. And with those little holes. But these are, look at the stones. So these would have been better pieces at the 5 and dime. But they're becoming more and more collected now because of the beauty. But you can't command a really great price because they're not designer and the inferior construction.
Well, that's costume jewelry.
Very costume. But it's
TG&Y. Did TG&Y exist in Ohio? It's like a Woolworths on a smaller scale. Yeah.
Well, and we actually still have a Franklin Mint or Franklin 5 and dime. So now here, this one's it looks $4 again. Yeah, I really have a lot of this that just they breed in boxes. But it's chintzy the construction, so it's lower than that. But what sells on this piece is the Aurora Borealis giant green stones that are glass. Remember, it's cold.
They're cold.
It's cold. So touch the pieces. Be a blind.
What stone is that then?
It's just a rhinestone, honey.
Oh, okay. A rhinestone. Okay.
It's just an emerald green rhinestone.
It's just a rhinestone, honey.
Show your turquoise necklace, Bobby. I don't have a turquoise, do I?
You said you had one.
I have they're wood bolo ties is what I have. I don't think I have
right.
turquoise. If I do, I'm not drawing them. I'll look it up while y'all are talking. Go ahead.
Talk opals. Now that's our fine jewelry. I think we were just going more for what you're going to find in. And I wonder, Gwen, do you remember me saying that that's my favorite stone on the Beardos? I was just going to show again that there's a sandwich baggie here. I apparently started putting red, white, and blue jewelry in too. That's chintzy stuff, but
I did.
I mean, it is chintzy too.
Right.
Really, this would have been 60s. I can tell by the construction, which I wish I'd brought that to show. For collectability, the 1960s flower pins, huge. As I taught Jan, Antiques from Karen, she's a friend. One thing she learned was what's called the flying V on these pins. That's not indicative of a company or anything. It's really more the time period. And so, like, if you got one of the enamel flower pins, which I don't know if Angie could pull those up, because you find those frequently and people pass them over and they're really hot. The flying V will tell you that it is a 1960s piece. And some of those individually can sell well if they're different, unique colors and styles. So I would put, enamel flower pin. Angie.
Okay.
Is she there? Am I
I'm
lost?
here. Enamel flower pin.
Yes, vintage enamel flower. No, you don't have to put the flying V in. That's just the construction.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yes.
I guess I did. I forgot that I had some stuff listed that I found in a lot, and I'll show you.
Angel, yeah, that is one of the keywords. People will use flower power in there, but see,
Oh my goodness.
That's
This one's a
Victorian. That's
Trifari.
Kremitz gold. I have a Kremitz gold enamel pin up in my store for sale right now.
Oh,
That's
look, here's a Joan Rivers one.
Yeah, see, here's some of the Joan Rivers enamel.
I forgot I had these listed, and I found these in a lot of stuff, and they're turquoise and $9.25. Oh, wait a minute.
That's
I
a
grabbed the wrong
sterling
one.
piece.
I grabbed the wrong one.
Put in flower power just to I mean, I generally don't use that unless I have the hippie colors. There you go. This is what we're talking about. These enamel pins.
Oh, okay.
Now, see, there's hardly any results using the flower power, but given an idea, if you showed the construction, they have that flying V on the back to show that they are the 1960s ones, because there are modern ones and they don't have that V. See the V?
Oh, right.
So when you see that, you know that you've got a genuine vintage one.
Nice.
And you can put those in lots and sell them.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. So that's indicative of time period, not company. So then you know that's the 60s. And those brooches are really huge. They make other ones because it's obviously the 60s.
Right. So let's look at that.
But I'm just saying, you know, you wonder how can you tell a new piece from an old piece? Construction.
All right.
I'm surprised that they only put one picture here.
Yeah. Huge fail. Huge fail. Use all of your keyword, all your spaces, your 80 characters as best you can. You know, you never know what somebody might use as a search term.
Right,
you
exactly.
know, and always show, you know, front, back, sides.
Okay. This I picked up in a bag of stuff, and you can see it's turquoise.
Yeah, that's crushed mosaic.
And on the back, it's 925. Now you're going to make me grab my other glasses because I can't read that small print.
Oh, look, he's got a little sexy.
It says, what does it say under the clasp? Mexico 925. And then it's got something like C79, whatever that is.
Okay, that denotes that was made since 1978.
Okay.
Because it has the little numbers there that indicate what area in Mexico and then who made it.
Oh,
and then this one.
It's their
this
name.
One, system. As you can see, I haven't done my nails.
A little different if you're a chick showing jewelry.
And this one says Mexico too, but it's no, it doesn't either. It's CR. What's CR?
That could be just the designer. I'd really need to look at that.
It's better. A stamp. It's a stamp in it, and then it's got some other writing, but it's very small. But like I said, I never really looked at the stuff. I didn't think it was real, and then as I started messing around with it, I got to really looking at it closely, and I've listed. It's all listed. I think I got that first one I showed you for $60. Maybe too high. I don't know. Hadn't sold, so maybe it is.
If we were going to talk turquoise, yeah, you know that I have, of course, a giant box of it downstairs across all time. I can cover Native American. I can cover Mexican. I can cover sterling around the world. I can cover any of that. I can't stand not knowing something. So if I find a piece, I don't know the mark, I research everything about it. If it's a sickness. I'm sorry.
Is Rachel still in here? I don't know if Rachel's still in here, but Van just found from a hoarder house in Chicago a bunch of vintage Lego from the 80s, and he was selling all of them for over $300 a piece, and I knew she was heavy into Lego, so one of them was a German-made one, but
no.
okay.
Marcy pointed out V equals vintage. Easy to remember.
Right.
Apparently that's too easy. I never thought of that. I can talk you around the block on things, and then can I just say V means vintage? Damn it.
But I'll remember that now when I go and look at something. I'll be like, Marcy said.
Yeah, Marcy said. Marcy helped. I'm trying not to have a jewelry avalanche here. That's so sad.
Now you got to make me look at jewelry I've already got listed closer because I'm like, did I really look at that?
Right.
Well,
And
this
did you
is
list it right?
stuff that I have listed right here. I have listed, and like here's the enamel, the 1980s enamel, and this one is Monet. But I've got the set. I've actually got the earrings, and these are things that are in my store right now.
Right.
You know, like here's fun stuff. I think I picked these up for $1 a piece. Now I'm going to show you. This is usually stuff I don't put up, but I am because it's Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
The pin is the pin is marked Disney. And, you know, with Disney stores basically disappearing, you're not really finding the jewelry in that anymore. So that's becoming more collectible. And this is faux pearl on this. It's just white plastic and then has a faux pearling on it. Normally, I wouldn't have listed this except for, you know, repair or something, or if it was a good designer, because one side, the faux pearling was coming off. But, you know, I've got the earrings, I got the bracelet, and I got the pin. And I mean, you know, I've got what, $1.50 into it?
Right.
So anything I make, you know, get out of that.
I got this, and I know it's probably costume jewelry, but let me go back to.
Oh, want to talk opals? There you go.
Let me just. It's just a unique piece, but it's got best on the back of it.
Okay, the best stuff is only best in name.
Okay, all right.
That's I could get into the whole thing, but it's just kind of a modern costumey junk.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. But hey, well, I got you. I might as well ask, right?
Listen, let me show you this one. This is. You said something about if it's marked with Japan.
I can't see
Bobby,
you. I can't see me.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Can you make me big?
Yep, hang on.
The only time a woman's going to say that.
Right. This, I can't see it very well. On the top, it says Japan. Can you see
Yeah.
that? Okay. It has this weird clasp.
Well, that's not weird. That's a common little box clasp.
Okay. What would I even call this? Let me show you. It's just like beads, but it has to be pretty old.
Yeah, well, the clasp, make sure it's original to it, but I can tell you already it is. You know, it has been.
It looks like the whole thing is like old costume, and it even has like, you know, this little ball thing at the end.
Well, with things like that, because of the length, you could go with calling it by its length, because believe it or not, it's not as well known, but lengths of necklaces had different names, like opera length, dinner length, cocktail length, that.
Right.
But when you've got ones like that with the multi-strings, I generally will call them a torsade. Other people may not. I mean, okay. Yeah, Angel, they are CBs, but they're TORSAUD. I don't know. Put me on the spot.
Well, I can like look it up, but I just torsade. Okay.
Other people may have different things. I wanted to say, yes, they technically are seed beads, Angel, but they're too big to be the basic seed beads. Oh yeah, Nana, Ben Franklin. It's still over here, about 2 miles from the Football Hall of Fame, and it still says 5 and dime on the sign. I think that's cute. Oh, here's one I should have gotten on that you will find out in the wild. This is another one of the home shopping, but really, I can't believe how much I sell to Russia. Kirk's Folly. Pull some of them up. I wish I would have thought about it. I have a whole box down on my other desk. I have 2 desks. This is the TV studio. The other one's the cats are on me. I don't hear anybody.
Go ahead.
Oh,
we're listening. You
Kirk's
said something about Opal.
Oh, where did I put it back? Yeah. Oh, I was saying because it's up for sale. It's the little lab opal. And the hammered look.
Cute.
Israeli jewelry, real popular, has that kind of look going with it. But anyways, Kirk's Folly, there will be an oval cartouche. We see it. This one, it's on the angel's back. The stuff was extremely popular in the 90s, and it sold on QVC. And it had a great story that the ladies were friends and that they'd created it. And it's lots of whimsy and oodles. That's how you get used to seeing it. Oodles of little flobs and bobs and beads and stars and angels. And then, kitties and teddy bears. Most of their stuff, not all, but most is gold tone. But look that up. Because, here's another piece I have that's actually done in the bronze, which was later on.
Right.
But that stuff, I scored so big. I did the Snoopy dance out of the estate sale to the car. I was like, she put them in little brown sandwich baggies. I had I think 40 pieces, and it was $1 a baggie.
Look at
one necklace in that, because it looked like crap. And she actually had jewelry at the sale, but this is her dollar bag basket where she puts crap. It looked like crap to her. And I sold one of the necklaces for $220.
So the moon seems to be like the big thing.
Oh, the moon glow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they also have an angel too. I have that in my wardrobe. But you can find this stuff with pretty good frequency, especially in those, the kind of women that would buy longer burger baskets kind of homes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And candles. The candle women, lots of Yankee candles everywhere. There's certain things you
mermaid one
go together.
I never buy Lumberger baskets. I see people talk about it all the time. Like, I'm not buying them. That's just something I'm not.
I won't touch them. I've even got some Longerberger jewelry downstairs that I haven't bothered to list that employees got. But look at this stuff.
Angel, who are you asking if they sell on eBay? All three of us sell on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
There it is on the back.
And I can honestly say, if anybody has any kind of requests, I probably have some around here somewhere. And believe it or not, I do know where most everything is. Unless it's an item, then it's sold and I'm going to pull it. I don't know.
Melissa, I buy Yankee Candles too.
I like a couple of them. I've got the one of the witch's brew things or something that smells like Halloween spice yummy. I don't know. I like vanilla and I like spice. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Now I've just shot myself.
It's just amazing that you taught yourself when you were younger and had no money, and you just thought, "Hey, I'm going to study this stuff and I'm going to learn it."
Know it.
And I remember you saying a long time ago you got it from books, and you learned, and we all have our expertise. I know a lot about sports jerseys and hats, and I'm learning about video games a lot, but man, I know nothing about jewelry. That's why I really wanted to get you to talk about it. And me and Angie really want to get people on here of things we don't know a ton about and learn, because, every reseller that's out there, none of us know everything.
No.
We learn every day something new.
I want to just show this. This is one way that I learned, and this is the way other people can learn too. When everybody asks the question, well, how do you know time period? How can you tell? And we all start somewhere. You just, it's seeing it in repetition and that.
Right.
My biggest one, old catalogs. This one, and these are real. I paid a lot of money for my catalogs. I think this one's 1920. Oh, it's 1918. So the jewelry in here.
Oh, wow.
You learn by looking, and I love these. Oh my God. I get lost in them for hours. So this was the jewelry that was available in 1918.
Well, I saw some
cameos.
Cameo. Yeah.
Oh, and then I've even put printed notes in it. Oh, what happened?
Oh, I don't know what happened.
Did I hit something?
No, you're here.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Oh, because my screen I don't see you guys.
We see you.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All I see is the lady running on a beach. Okay.
Oh,
Your screensaver.
your screensaver's on.
Move your mouse. It'll probably come back.
Yeah.
Just move your mouse.
No, I'm moving the mouse and it's not. So I'll just have to wing it.
Chuck probably snuck in your house and messed with your computer. Marcy, get him back.
I have no idea. So I can at least just kind of.
We can see you.
Yeah. And like this, 52nd annual catalog. And I can figure the year from that. And then, see, this was the 20s or 30s.
Wow.
So then you just learn the styles. I purposely would buy the jewelry catalogs, but you can get like Sears catalogs and things. And then you figure the time period. Here's 1920. Again, my huge favorite era.
So I guess if we see those at estate sales, grab them, right?
Oh, yes, these catalogs. That's another thing. Yeah. The catalogs, people covet these. You can sell them. And depending, the older, the better. Because, again, ephemera, everyone, if it was made to either be thrown away or, it by nature is going to disintegrate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, they don't even have to be in great condition. I've got another one that's from 1893 I've had to tape it together. It was just completely falling apart. And I paid $60 or $70 for that one. And it literally was just in pages, just put together.
Yeah, Lissa does have a YouTube channel. You wanted to talk about that, Lissa?
I wish I could see myself. Well, technically, yes, I do have a YouTube channel. And a number of people in this room might not know that I was very ill for most of 20 and 21. And now I'm only now getting back to trying to get into gear. So, and I finally did get this thing that it hates me.
I know I got one too, and I don't use it either.
But I mostly am comfortable with being a guest on rooms and interacting with people. Doing static is very difficult for me. I have been actually doing some recording in that. And my goals, one of the goals was to start putting out content. So I've already succeeded in the goals to get up and going here. And
well, how often are you putting out videos right now?
I put one little short on there as my first thing with, telling people to use their coupon, and everybody's made fun of me.
So should we push you to start making videos?
You started this anyways. Listen, Morris was just fine on the
Well, you
porch.
used to sit on your porch with bad reception, and now you actually have a place and you're reselling again. You ought to put out. You have so much knowledge. You need to share that knowledge. That's what this is all about. And you're in every chat. I mean, everybody knows you and they love you. So put out some videos and let people gain some knowledge from you. I mean, that's what you like to do is teach, right?
Yeah, I do love to teach. And I think one of the best feelings I ever had was I was at an estate sale, and one of the other dealers that I've known for years but doesn't talk to me much comes running up behind me, and she was like, "Liz, is this worth anything? Is this worth it? It's $20. Should I get it?" And it was a big brooch, and it made me feel so good because, she never even talked to me, but she came to me to see if it was worth the $20.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because at that sale, I wasn't interested in the jewelry, but there just happened to be a couple pieces. So, I mean, that was really very validating. It's nice. It's nice to be acknowledged that, something in your life has value. And this is what my other people were raising children and, having those kind of interactions. I was just going to auctions and estate sales and flea markets and reading and learning and selling. And so, I mean, this is really my identity is mostly this. So, and I love to help anybody ever has a question. I love to help. And some people have sent things like to my Instagram or, and it, if I can help them, I will. And like when Noelle and I were doing the show, that was so wonderful because people were asking questions. And, you're never going to learn unless you ask somebody, and there is no stupid question. And if somebody can, help you out, it's
Karen's got a question about some glassware that she just got, I think, and she wanted to ask you that. before we end the show. And
Wait a second. Jamie! Jamie! Dang it. I heard him come in. I was hoping he could come tell me what's wrong with the screen. Okay, so what's Karen have to say?
Karen, what's your question about the glassware? She may want to send you a picture on Instagram too, but I know they said she had some stuff, and I was like, I don't mess with glassware. That only thing I ever pick up is Lennox, because I know about Lennox jewel collection stuff.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes.
And the nativity stuff sells very well, so when I can find it cheap, I buy it. But she wants to show you a piece of glassware. Okay,
she'll have to hit me up in the Instagram.
Yeah, and your Instagram is Pretty Rogue
Pretty
One.
Rogue One. PrettyRogue numeric 1.
Okay.
Which, by the way, everybody, that was my email too. It's Pretty Rogue. That boyfriend that I originally, the tech guy, he set up my email too, and he chose Pretty Rogue. And Rogue was my.
Glad we can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
We can't hear you. You just went silent.
I can hear her fine.
Angie was off for a minute, but now you're off, and I don't see you unmuted.
I hear both you guys. I hear her. You guys.
Wow, this is nice. And I can't hear you either, Angie.
Then something's wrong with you.
Wow, this is awesome to shut women up. I'm kidding. Y'all can hear me. And you're not muted. I don't see you muted.
Well, do we write on a piece of paper?
Hang on a minute. Let me. Okay, I'm muted. Unmute. Angie?
Hello?
I don't know what happened. I haven't hit anything.
Can you hear me?
And I don't show y'all muted, and I muted and unmuted you. That's weird. Y'all can hear me. Don't you just love hearing me and nobody else? This is awesome. Hey,
my
JT,
Lord.
Let's make fun of them. We can make fun of them. They can't say nothing back.
We can say things back.
Oh, you can hear everyone? Okay, they said they can hear you. I just can't. Well, never mind then. That ain't no fun.
Well, you don't need to learn anything then. Let's talk about him. He can't hear us. Angie, I mean, oh my God, he just goes on and on.
All right.
I said it's
I
not
can't hear
me,
what y'all are
it's
saying
you.
anymore. So.
It's well, then he can't tell to read things.
What the heck?
I think on this note,
you know what?
Has no screen,
I know what it is.
Bobby has no sound.
I unmuted my speaker when I was clicking on these tabs because my speaker thing's right down there from my computer, not from StreamYard.
And I have no idea.
Well,
I'm glad you guys had fun with it because I'm sitting here talking trash and I'm the one you can't.
We're sitting here like, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Dang, I thought for a minute I actually was like E.F. Hutton and everybody shut up to listen to me.
No.
Dang it.
There's women in the room. That's never.
If I knew how to build Lego, I'd go build them. See, Rachel, you've taught me something. I used to call them Legos, and now I know better. So don't ever say Legos in front of Rachel Strickland.
I think I learned that from Rachel, actually.
I know, me too. I don't build them, so
Legos.
I don't build them at all. I got a whole bunch of them I need to get rid of.
Well, I'm afraid to touch anything, because I have no idea why the screen went. I don't know.
That's right. That's right. Marcy,
you still can't see, Lissa?
No.
No, I didn't do that.
Ooh, wait. Ha!
What'd you do?
Nothing.
She doesn't know.
She moved the mouse. I guarantee you she moved the mouse. She timed out.
No, it wasn't the mouse. It was my windows down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, same as me.
Hallelujah.
You're not quite a boomer, though. I'm a boomer. I was born in the 50s.
Yeah, Bobby's a boomer.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Please don't use that word when I live in Oklahoma because I am not a Sooner. I'm a Longhorn.
Sooner boomer. Yeah, it's so bad. It's so good to be back and see your shiny face and the chat. Oh, the chat. I love you all. Mimi, Karen, Rachel. Oh, Marcy. Thank you, everyone. Well, if anybody, I don't know if anybody had any final questions or things. Like I said, the overview is construction. Look at your clasps. Look at your pendants. always look up a name or a mark. If it has a strange looking mark, it's probably put there for a reason.
Right.
And, err on the side of, possibly striking it good. And if you don't do good, just chalk it up to reseller, tuition for,
Right.
learn.
Learning.
Because you won't make that mistake again. But you're not going to learn anything unless you try. And you've got to make those risks.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge, Lissa. I really appreciate it. And I know
seriously, I totally learned so much tonight, Lissa. I really appreciate it.
I hope you mean that.
We do.
100%. Like I told you, I bought this jewelry bin just so I could learn something, and I actually did. I actually pulled a couple things that'll be worth something, and I'll more than make up my money. So I'm happy about that.
And
well, now I know to look at clasps and hang tags.
Even if you've got singles, people want them. You can take a whole bag of that kind of jewelry, pick out the really good stuff, and then weed your way down. Yeah. And at the bottom is crafts or repurpose. Right. And you can make the whole thing go away and wring out how much money from it.
Exactly. That's
the way you have to look at it. Says the woman who has probably 200 pounds of jewelry sitting on her desk in boxes.
So when are you going to make a YouTube video? And right now you're hot. You got everybody interested. So make a video and put it out and talk about something specific.
I'll make a video when this little thing cooperates. I tried the other day and
make it with your phone. I do mine all with my phone. I don't edit. I just throw it up there. Maybe that's why I only have what I haven't used.
I had my GoPro. I did an inventory video, and all the video was corrupt. So I had to redo it again. I was so mad.
Angel's asking about my store name again. It's Kitty Mom 1, KITTYMOM numeric 1. I don't have a whole lot up there right now, and it's a work in progress because I've just recently, and I'm so excited about this. I'm going to be listing more because I learned to use the phone.
Nice.
Yes.
And the phone takes great pictures of close for jewelry and stuff.
You know what's bad about the phone though, Lissa, is if you don't make the dial go all the way around, you have to hang up and start over again.
I could hit you with my pink one.
I know, right?
No, but I've found that the pictures, and that was always the thing that hung me up on being able to get things out. That and the description. So I've been really struggling watching like Philly Flipper and Shay, and watching them how they're just flying through, and I'm using that as motivation because they're just using their phone, and I'm like,
that's
people
all I
buy their stuff, and you don't have to write a whole lot. It's killing me because I had a journalism background too.
We are perfectionists. That's why it makes it harder for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not as much, but I can list anything in 3 minutes. Clothing, whatever.
I agonize about it too, Lissa.
And I use my phone totally. So
So now I am just starting to do that. So I am going. I've been putting stuff in the queue, and I'm writing this quick little ads. So I'm starting with this. It's going to be a little slow process, but I've been taking more. And so now I can actually put stuff up that I didn't think was all that, because it's not going to take much time. I used to only focus on, if I can make 50 and above. So you'll see a lot of that, but that's part of the goal too.
Nice.
I got to get rid of this stuff, man. This house is only 1,000 square feet. And literally 400 of that is easily stuff. Okay. Stuff that should have went bye-bye.
We appreciate you coming on. Angie, you want to talk about who we got next week?
Next week is going to be on my channel, which is Angie Resells, and we are going to have Chuck, the Backroad Bidder. Can't wait to hear about how he does auctions and live auctions. That's something I really wish we had here, and just curious to see what's going on with him and Marcy for the upcoming year. So hang out with us next week. My dog has a squeaky toy out. I apologize. 7 o'clock next Wednesday on my channel. And listen, what do you got coming up? Are you going to be on anyone's channel or?
I will be. The next thing that I have set in stone is Johnny's Wednesday auction, but that's March 2nd. And I've been trying to put aside and figure out what to sell. Now, I know that sounds so obvious, right? But for me to actually hone in and pick stuff, that's where,
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And then I will be on Copper State Treasures with Lisa and Danny May coming up on one of their skit ones, but I'm not sure when that's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
and
guess
Angel made a good point. There's several things in the last week that I've listed that I've had in my death pile for a while, and I listed them, and they sold. Like I listed a pull cue the other day and had no clue what the value was. I put it on an auction because I didn't know. I couldn't find the brand, and I sold it for $73. And I'm like, why aren't you listing your death pile? So, like Angel said, if you don't list it, you ain't selling it.
Definitely not going to.
Sounds like you're like me on some things. You get attached to it.
No, like this, I normally wouldn't have sold it. And I mean, you're like, oh, that's turquoise. No, not really. This is a kind of a costume turquoise from, you know, in the 70s, early that. And it's not sterling. And I generally wouldn't sell the not sterling. I looked.
Hey, Lynn.
$30. Now I can do it with my camera and be like, whoo. So, yay. I mean, it's fake turquoise and that, but people pay $30 for that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Well,
You get your picture taken.
Thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you next week on Angie's channel with Chuck the Backroad Bidder, and we'll find out what knowledge Chuck has. Can you answer that, Lissa? What Chuck's knowledge is?
Oh, Chuck knows lots of stuff, and he's a doll.
We're going to talk about auctions.
He knows about Wisconsin and cheese and squeaky cheese curds. And that he can go across the street and catch king snakes and sell them.
Well, there you go. I did not know that.
Corn snakes. Oh, yeah. He learned that from Tanktopia, dude.
Well, thanks again. And I'm going to go watch Amazing Race.
Oh, me too.
I'm going to go hang out on the porch and watch YouTube people.
I'm not. Too much dang snow.
Hey, the freezing rain. It's not snow yet. It's freezing rain.
Super.
Thanks everybody for being here.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks
and I
again,
hope you learned at least something that'll help move forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.